Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my live concert from my living room series. Every Friday, um, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, I have this live stream concert on my YouTube channel, Sharon Young Violin, as well as my um, Facebook page is also Sharon Young Violin. So welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And uh, the theme of today's series is Songs Without Words. In fact, the whole month, all the songs that are selected for the program each week is from songs that are meant to be sung or music that is set to a poem or simply lyrical piece that uh, meant to be sung or then turn the violin into the voice in itself. Yes, now if you are joining me today, please say hi, type something in the comments. I would love to know um, the friends who are joining me so I know who I'm chatting with as well. And this is the fun part of doing a live stream concert versus just videotaping myself and then post it on YouTube. By the way, my YouTube channel, Sharon Young Violin, and Facebook as well, Sharon Young Violin. So anyone who like to join us at this time, they can feel free to join. Yes, and every Friday, 6 o'clock evening time, um, Eastern time, and also Wednesday, um, 7 o'clock Eastern time. I also do this live stream concert from my living room, but is another side of my living room uh, on my Instagram. Yeah, so today's program is interesting. We have composers from all around different parts of the world during different period of time, actually, mostly romantic periods. But the first piece that I want to perform for you guys is actually by Johann Sebastian Bach, Air. Now, for most violinists, we know it as Air on G string because the entire piece was played on one string. The lowest string on the instrument is the G string, which gives a very warm and lush tone. However, originally, Bach had written this piece for his orchestra suite, number 3 in D, and it was meant for the string orchestra. So air simply means aria or a song, right? So usually we think of a song or an aria being sung by singer with words to it, with lyrics to it. However, Bach also wrote several aria for instruments, so it became instrumental aria or simply air, simple melody. Now, so this is a piece that I have included on my new EP, which can be heard also on Bandcamp. So if you go to SharonYungViolin.bandcamp.com, you can support my work there. So here is Bach Air. Thank you, everyone. That was Johann Sebastian Bach's Air on G string. Well, for violinists, we call it Air on G string because we're just so used to. This is a piece that is famous for climbing up and down the same string on the G string. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, for the friends who just joined today, please, if you have not had a chance to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, SharonYung Violin. If you enjoy what you're listening to, give it a thumbs up, and you can also click on the little bell notification so that every time I have a new video posted, you will be able to enjoy them. And the friends on Facebook, give me a following if you enjoy the work that I'm doing. Yes, I also have my live stream concert every Wednesday on Instagram, 7 o'clock. Yes, so this piece that I just performed, Bach Air on G string, is one of the singles in my new release EP that you can check out on Bandcamp, SharonYung Violin Bandcamp. So as you notice, all across social media, I just use the same name, SharonYung Violin. I'm not very, very creative with coming up with different names because then I have a hard time remembering it myself. Yeah, now and then I'll definitely get mixed up for you guys. The next piece, since today's series is called Songs Without Words, the next piece is also very interesting. By a Polish composer and violinist Wieniawski, Henryk Wieniawski. He was during the Romantic period. He reminded me of Chopin in a way that he was also a Polish composer and composed his own music, bring it along on tour, perform his own works, and got very, very successful. Well, this particular piece that Wieniawski wrote, he titled it Legend. Now, he wasn't talking about himself, or maybe he was. When I did a little research on the background, I oftentimes love to find out why composer write a certain piece, especially when there's a title to it. Now, this is a time when Wieniawski was in love with this lady, and he wanted to marry her, but then this girl's parents opposed. And so Wieniawski resorted to writing this piece, Legend, and upon completion, when the work was complete, he gave the final product to the parents, or the girl's parents, and they immediately changed their mind and agreed to their daughter marrying Finievsky. So I guess this piece was very, very successful in that sense. And well, since Finievsky, he was also a very, very accomplished violinist. So he no doubt bring this piece along with him everywhere he go. And here we have Legend, which is in fact, even though without words, but in itself, it's almost like a love letter. Thank you very much. Wieniawski definitely knew how to create drama. That was a lot of theatrical moment in this piece. I hope I convey that every bit of the dynamics. It was so concise and specifically marked. Every single moment was indicated on the music. So I hope I got all of that together this time. Yeah, so that was a very, very fun piece to play. That was Wieniawski's Legend. The piece really sounds quite dramatic and big, just like the title suggested. Yes, now let's go to another piece that is a little lighter. Russian composer Tchaikovsky, most very familiar with his ballet music, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, or even his 1812 Overture, a lot of his symphonic works. Here's Tchaikovsky had written this set of 3 pieces for the violin, set to the orchestra. In fact, initially one of the movements was meant to be the slow movement of his violin concerto, indeed. But when he finished that particular movement, meditation, he thought that it was a little too long, too heavy for the already very long concerto. The first movement of the concerto was about 25 minutes. So added to another 15, 20 minutes of second movement, it'll be a little out of proportion. So he decided to set it to a set of 3 pieces. And And he also wrote something else for another movement for to replace the second movement. He wrote a canzonetta for the concerto. Now, out of the three in this set, I'm going to perform the melody, which is the third piece of the set of three, and it's a miniature piece. Of course, melody is like a song or lyrical piece. Um, no lyrics to it, though. So I thought it would be nice to have something light and um, actually a very pretty piece also. Yes, so here is Tchaikovsky's melody. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Welcome, friends, on Facebook as well, every Friday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I will be doing this live stream concert from my living room here in Brooklyn, New York. So it will be Eastern Time. And the series right now, it's Songs Without Words. So the piece that you just heard is by Tchaikovsky, Melody. Yes, it's a very, very pretty piece. By the way, if you enjoy what you're listening to today, please give it a thumbs up, type some comments, and you can also support me on Bandcamp. I have released a new EP on SharonYungViolin.bandcamp.com, so you can check out my work there. The piece that I just performed, Tchaikovsky Melody, is actually already released on most streaming platforms, so you can also enjoy that. Spotify, Amazon, um, Google Play, that kind of, yeah, most popular streaming platform. And give me a following if you like my work, and subscribe my YouTube channel, please. It's Sharon Yung Violin. And you can also um, click on notification. That way, every time there's a new video, you'll be notified and you can enjoy it. In fact, yes, this is one thing that I would like to mention is last week's concert on YouTube. I ended up not being able to upload it, or after it was uploaded, I had to delete it. One of the reasons was when I play back to listen to it, the playback speed was strange. And I don't know if you guys noticed, it wasn't even my voice, or my voice was like super low. Not that I didn't like it, I actually like my voice, but I didn't speak like that. So it was a very different accent, very well, and also it affected the frequency of the violin music that was played back. So the whole thing was just very distorted. So I took it down, but rather the video that I did on live Facebook or Facebook Live, I actually used that and uploaded it to YouTube, and that works too. So this is one of the reasons why I am simultaneously doing YouTube as well as Facebook. So hoping that I will have a backup recording. Yeah, so we'll see how tonight's concert turn out on YouTube in 24 hours. Hopefully it's not distorted. Now, let's go to the next one. A French composer by the name of Gabriel Fauré. Fauré wrote this piece, Les Berceaux, which is actually a cradle song. He wrote it to a set of poem, actually was written by another French poet. And the poem is very, very beautiful. And I wanted to share with you guys what the poem was about. And I thought it's a very beautiful thing for composer to set music to existing poems or lyrics that they find. Okay, so the piece was written in 1879, which was sort of like beginning of the Romantic period. And yeah, so all right, so the piece, right, Fauré uses the flowing melodic line in the vocal part, which is now the violin part, and a characteristic accompaniment in the piano to evoke the movement of the ships and of the cradles, and kind of put together to create the motion and the emotion. Now, the interesting thing is that the poem is about a ship in the ocean. Now, let me see if I can pull it out. Still trying with one hand. Here's the lyrics loosely translated into English. It's actually titled The Cradles. Along the quay, the great ships, listing silently with the surge, Pay no heed to the cradles, rocked by women's hands. But the day of parting will come, for it is decreed that women shall weep, and that men with questing spirits shall seek enticing horizons. And on that day, the great ships, leaving the dwindling harbor behind, shall feel their hulls held back by the soul of the distant cradles. Yeah, so the entire piece was pretty much you can feel a ship and the wave. The movement never ends, so probably the ship never sailed back on shore. So here is a my interpretation of Fourier's Les Berceaux. It's truly a lovely piece. And I really enjoy working with pieces that were written for singers because as I play the work, I actually look at where the breathing point is. I know they're very aware of uh, for composers. They often use the technique word painting. So they're very aware of where to break, where to breathe, to work with the singers, the natural breathing of singing voice, and where the words fits to the note to paint the picture and to convey that emotion. So it actually gives me a lot of hint to how I should interpret the piece and also uh, sort of discover some of the technical technical issue of how to put that together on the violin. As I was researching on the accompanied part, I find that there are many different keys, the same piece, for singers who sing high or low, or the different register for tenor, for baritone. Basically, there is a key for everybody, which is great. And so I was trying to decide which key should I use as for myself. What do I actually feel when I listen to this piece, and what is the most natural register for me as a violinist? And I find that looking at this, I can imagine the viola. This is very close to the viola range as well as the cello range. So I have heard cellists playing this piece as well, which is great. Now, here is another piece by a French composer. So we have a lot of French works when it comes to songs without words, because I think there are a lot of songs, French songs. But this particular one is by Massenet, Meditation, that was set to his opera, Thais. Now, so in an opera, we know that there's an acting side, the singing side of it, and then the orchestra playing the pit. Now, this particular segment, the meditation, was actually played by a violin solo with the entire orchestra in the setting of the opera. So I have yet to find out what part of the opera, what part of the storyline does this appear. But most of you probably have heard it. This is a very, very popular piece, and it tells a love story. Thank you. That was um, Massenet Meditation from his opera, Thais. Hope you like it. This is a piece that a lot of the violinists have played over and over and over again. I wish to see your comments, but oh, wow, now I see it. Wow. uh, oh, thank you so much for your lovely comments. Now I see them. Yeah, yay. Thank you. Yeah. So, uh, yeah, if you enjoy today's program, yes, please invite your friends to join as well. Everybody is welcome. Now, here are two more pieces before we end today's concert. One is by an Austrian composer and violinist during around the wartime. Fritz Kreisler. He was actually he was born in Vienna, just like most famous musician, born in Vienna, lived in Vienna, worked in Vienna, one way or the other. Fritz Kreisler was born in Vienna. However, he also studied in Paris Conservatory of Music. Not surprised, because almost every great musician and composer had studied in Paris and eventually come to New York, gave his debut recital at Carnegie Hall, which again, great musicians seems to all eventually led to New York City. See, these are the cultural center which made these places so great, is that you can actually hear real live music by great composer and musicians. Now, Fritz Kreisler, um, he reminded me of Wieniawski, the composer that I performed earlier. Wieniawski was another legend, also, actually, I should say. When he was 8, he was admitted to Paris Conservatory of Music, even though he was the first one ever to be admitted at the age of 8, and they couldn't let him in because, first of all, he didn't speak any French, and he was so young. But they had to make an exception because he was so extraordinary gifted. And just like Wieniawski, Kreisler also wrote many of his original works and traveled with them, performed his own works as well as his contemporaries' works. And his works were also very well received among his contemporaries. Other violinists around his time also enjoyed playing his works, so that was something special. Now, this particular piece is titled Aucassin on Nicolette. So I suppose it's Aucassin. Austin, maybe. And Nicole. So anyhow, it's a canzonetta. It's a little song in medieval style. So it has this very simple, kind of simple nature, worry-free atmosphere. And I find that it's very interesting to listen to music that was composed before 1914, to remind me of how people felt, during that time, that trouble-free sort of spirit. So I hope you enjoy this piece by Fritz Kreisler. A very lovely tune by Fritz Kreisler. Yes. Oops, not this one. Sorry. Yes, Fritz Kreisler has written many, many interesting original pieces. He doesn't seem to want to conform to the traditional sonata form, concerto form. In fact, he wasn't even interested in writing. I don't remember him writing sonatas. All of the Fritz Kreisler collections that I got, all the sheet musics are just like miniature pieces, very thin, So I have many, many, many of those very thin music stack up, and they're all Fritz Kreisler. So it's all miniature pieces, although some of them are very, very technically demanding. But they're still sort of like independent music is like his original piece that he definitely make a mark. He has his own character, personality written into his music, and is very, very interesting to play. Each one has a very different and unique character. So it's almost like looking at individual pictures. Yeah, so it's interesting to find out more about this person. His personality definitely is expressed in his writing. Now, last piece. So let's get to a bohemian flavor by composer Antonin Dvorak. I've performed his work quite a few times on my live concert series in the past. Dvorak was a Czech composer during the early Romantic period. And he had written this set of songs called Gypsy Songs. Oftentimes he borrowed a lot of the folk tunes or folk tune rhythms into his writing. He didn't necessarily write more new folk tunes, but he would borrow already existed bohemian style or character. And this particular songs my mother taught me is one of the more famous one from the set, the Gypsy Songs. Interestingly, Fritz Kreisler also took this writing of Dvorak and did a elaborated transcription on this piece. So Fritz Kreisler definitely loved the piece. However, I couldn't find the piano part for everything I play, by the way, is from pre-recorded piano tracks. So obviously during pandemic time, you're not going to get a pianist in the same room to play with me or to rehearse together with me. So yes, so I thank many pre-recorded piano works so that I can work with these tracks. So the only track I can find is actually for singers. Oh, by the way, yes. So it's actually written for singers. So there is a poem to it. And again, someone had written the poem in Czech, later translated into German, and then in English. So here's a loose translation. He actually wrote quite a few. All right, a loose translation of, I click it away. Oops, okay. Songs my mother taught me. in the days long vanished. Seldom from her eyelids were the teardrops banished. Now I teach my children each melodious measure. Often the tears are flowing, often they flow from my memory's treasure. So here's a lovely song um, with bohemian character. Full shark. Let's get the tracks. All right. In two sentences, or two musical sentences, or two musical phrases, Dvorak included the entire poem. I don't know how he did it. Okay, but it was in Czech, so maybe all the syllables were able to fit in to all those, well, only two phrases. Amazing. So, um, this brings us to the end of today's program for Songs Without Words. As you all know, every week, Friday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on my YouTube channel and my Facebook, I'm doing live streaming concert from my living room, Songs Without Words. So next week will be a different program. In fact, next week's program is also very, very beautiful. If you know anyone who will be interested in enjoying a program like this, yeah, let them know. Everyone is welcome. And also feel free to leave your comments so I can also enjoy reading your comments. And give a thumbs up if you enjoy today's program. And also give me a following on my Facebook or YouTube channel, SharonYung Violin. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock on my Instagram, also SharonYung Violin. I also have live stream concert. The same series, Songs Without Words. But the program might be slightly different if because there's a time constraint on Instagram. I hope you enjoy the concert tonight, and we'll hopefully see you another time. And check back with me on new posts on my YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Hope you have a wonderful evening and wonderful weekend ahead. All right. Thank you again for joining me. Goodbye.